Have you ever noticed that some people remember you only when they need help? And when their problem is solved, they disappear again. Maybe you've sacrificed your rest, your plans, even your peace for others, only to feel invisible later. If that feeling sounds familiar, this story will feel very close to your heart. In a quiet town surrounded by green fields and old houses lived a man named Daniel. Everyone knew him as the most helpful person in the area. If someone's bike broke, they called Daniel. If heavy furniture needed moving, Daniel arrived. If someone felt lonely, they knocked on Daniel's door. He never refused. He always smiled and said, "I'll take care of it." People praised his kindness. They called him a good man. And Daniel believed helping others was the right way to live. But slowly, without realizing it, Daniel's own life began falling apart. His garden stayed messy. His windows remained cracked. His roof needed repair. His personal problems grew bigger every day, yet he kept postponing them because someone else always needed him more. Every night, Daniel returned home exhausted. His mother would watch him quietly and ask the same question again and again. "You help everyone, but why does no one help you?" Daniel would smile and say, "One day, people will remember." But that day never came. One evening, dark clouds covered the sky, and strong winds began shaking the town. Everyone rushed to protect their homes before the storm arrived. Daniel ran out too, but not toward his own house. He ran to help his friend Oliver, whose tools were still outside. They worked quickly, moving equipment into the shed and covering everything. But while Daniel was busy saving Oliver's belongings, his own garden furniture remained outside, his plants uncovered, his wooden boxes open. Then the storm arrived. Heavy rain poured. Fierce winds roared. By the time Daniel returned home, his garden was destroyed. Mud covered everything. Broken pieces lay scattered across the yard. He sat on the steps silently as rainwater mixed with tears on his face. His mother placed a towel on his shoulders and gently said, "Today, you saved everyone's belongings, except your own." Daniel didn't reply, but inside him, something changed. The next morning, feeling lost and tired, Daniel walked to the edge of town to meet Mr. Harris, a retired teacher known for his wisdom. Sitting beside the flowing river, Daniel asked, "I help everyone, but I feel empty. Why does kindness make me feel so tired?" Mr. Harris pointed at the river and said, "This river gives water to trees, animals, and farms. But what happens when the rain becomes too much and the river loses control? It floods." Daniel answered. "Exactly," Mr. Harris said softly. "Kindness without limits becomes destruction. You're kind, Daniel, but you have no boundaries. You run everywhere for everyone, but nowhere for yourself." Then he gave Daniel a simple challenge. For 7 days, don't say yes immediately. Pause. Ask yourself whether helping someone will harm your time, energy, or peace. If it will, say, "Not today." The next day, Oliver asked Daniel for help moving a heavy box. Daniel looked at his broken fence that had needed repair for months. His heart wanted to say yes, but he took a deep breath and said, "I'm sorry. Today I need to fix my own fence." Oliver was shocked. Daniel felt guilty, but he didn't change his decision. By evening, the fence stood strong. For the first time in months, Daniel felt proud. Over the next few days, he politely refused more requests. Instead of exhaustion, he felt calm. A peaceful silence replaced the constant pressure in his mind. Then heavy rain returned, and Daniel's roof began leaking. He waited, expecting someone to knock on his door like he had always knocked on theirs. No one came. This time, he didn't feel angry. He picked up his tools and fixed the roof himself. When he finished, he sat quietly and whispered, "So this is what it feels like to rely on myself." Weeks passed, and Daniel slowly changed. He stopped running everywhere. He woke early, cared for his garden, repaired his home, and invested time in his own life. And something unexpected happened. People began respecting him more. Neighbors stopped asking for every small favor. Oliver started solving his own problems. Daniel's house looked better. His garden bloomed beautifully. And his smile returned, this time without exhaustion. One afternoon, Mr. Harris visited and asked, "Did the world fall apart when you stopped saying yes to everyone?" Daniel smiled and replied, "No, my world finally started coming together." Mr. Harris nodded and said, "When you stop saying yes to everyone, you finally say yes to yourself." So if you see yourself in Daniel, remember this: saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you strong. Your time, your energy, and your peace are valuable. And the moment you start protecting them, the world begins to respect you too.